There are a lot of religions in existence. To be precise, there are that many religions in existence today. Now, how do we know which of these religions is true, if any? They cannot all be true, so are none of them true? Are they all man-made? In this video, we're going to try and unpack that question and see which of the religions that exist today are the most logical and the most intuitive religion out of all of them. Let's find out. Well, firstly, that question has a logical flaw to begin with. The question assumes that if there are many religions or there are many options, that means none of them are true and none of them are valid. That's a logically unfounded point, and there's really no reason to believe that. So there's no real argument against religion as far as the question goes. However, let's try and unpack the question and let's see if we can actually answer it from an Islamic perspective. How do we find out which of the religions, out of all these religions in existence, which all claim to be true, how do we find out of all these religions, which of them is true? Now, roughly 84% of the world's population believe in the 6 major world religions. And if we add atheism to that, that number simply gets bigger. So let's try and walk through these 7 now and see which of them are the most logical and which of them are the most rational to believe. As a disclaimer, most other religions that are in existence that are not of these 7 are mostly offshoots and branch-offs of one of these 7 religions. So therefore, we will be looking at these 7 to find out which of them are the most logical and are the most rational to believe in. Now, starting off with the increasingly popular atheism. Now, atheism is simply the lack of belief in a creator or a god. Now, there are many issues with this idea, but we're mainly going to focus on one, but it suffices to say there are many logical and scientific inconsistencies with this idea, and it's unfounded on both of those grounds. Namely, the idea that how could the universe have come from nothing? This is a major stumbling block for atheism, and the Quran makes reference to this by saying, were they created from nothing, or did it create itself? Did the universe create itself? In terms of could the universe have existed eternally, there's an example I like to put forth. In order for each moment to have passed, in order for everything to happen, there's a cause that must have caused it. Now, if you imagine an ocean, is it possible for there to be an endless ocean? That's absurd, because if there's no bottom, then there would be nothing holding up the entire ocean, and therefore there would be no ocean. In order for reality as we know it to be at the point it is today, there must have had to be a beginning, otherwise there would be no reality, full stop. So therefore, this idea of atheism and this idea that we never had a beginning or we came from nothing is quite a logically and scientifically unfounded argument. There is no scientific evidence that anything can come from nothing. Therefore, atheism is not a logical or rational viewpoint to follow. Now, if we start off with Hinduism, we see that it doesn't have an exclusivist claim in the first place. It doesn't claim to be absolutely true in reading its scripture. We don't find any claim that all the other religions are false. It just is a practice and is a culmination of rituals throughout the centuries. Therefore, we cannot let it have the claim that it is exclusively true because it doesn't make the claim in the first place.
There's only one God, man, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
This is the same idea with Buddhism, which doesn't make the claim in the first place, and it is more so a lifestyle and a way of living your life than it is trying to answer the fundamental questions of life. Now, moving on to Sikhism. Now, Sikhism is simply a culmination and a combination of Islam and Hinduism. We've seen that Hinduism doesn't really have any claim to be true in the first place, so there is no reason to follow Sikhism. If we are to follow any of them, then it would be one of the remaining 3, which are the Abrahamic faiths, then following a combination of the 2. So now we're left with the 3 Abrahamic faiths: Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. If we start off with Judaism, we see that Judaism is not an evangelical religion, meaning it cannot really and truly be accepted by someone who's not already a Jew by birth. Meaning it cannot be an acceptable truth. It's more of a heritage and a culture passed down from generation to generation. So it does not pass the test of being a religion in our experiment. And for the remaining two, which of the two makes more sense? The idea that there are three in one and one in three, and there are three different persons of the Godhead, however, there's only one God, or that there's only one God, the same God that created the heavens and the earth and originated all things, and he sent messengers throughout human history with the same message to worship that one true God and give thanks to him.
قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
And with that, we have narrowed it down to the remaining two, and that choice is for you as the viewers to make. Which of the two is more sensible and which of the two is more logical and rational? Till next time, this is the Casual Muslim signing out. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.